everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while, a very long time actually, but this is the space where I show you and kind of take a record of what I've been making since the last episode, which this time has been quite a lot. So yeah, this is kind of my space to share what I've been making and I guess make a comment on anything that I have learned or any mistakes that I've made or anything that I would do differently, and some of my inspiration behind some of my projects. So I hope you enjoy watching. This episode could get quite lengthy, as I think I have finished quite a few things and also started quite a few new projects as well since the last episode. So what I'm going to do first is actually watch my last episode just to remind myself of where I was at last time I made a video. So pull it up on my phone. And I'm not going to make you guys watch me watch my last episode, but I will be back in a moment to show you what I have made since. So I've just finished watching my last episode I did, which was like in September or October or something. So that's a really long time ago. But you may have just seen me if I include the video. Depends if I can figure out how to do what's it called? Time lapse? Fast forward? One of those. Because you're not going to want to watch me for 25 minutes. So I was sewing on a dress while I was watching that, because that is my current sewing project at the moment, which I will show you a bit more about in a minute. But first, I will show you some of the things that I have finished since in the last 8 months. Let me just move location so I have a bit better background rather than the mess of my sewing room. Okay, so we'll set up down here. Let's start with what I have finished. So I did have to make myself a bit of a list. What have we got first? Last time I was showing you about my knitting bag and my cross stitch bag that I made. Well, since then, Mum has seen them and she really liked them, and it was her birthday a month ago. So I decided that I would make her one. And very similar. This is it here. The colours on this camera just don't show up as good as they could. So I'm very sorry. it does look nicer in real life. This is her one here. This is her knitting bag. Um, Pretty much identical to the ones that I've done in the past. I did get the base nice and circular, and it's not as tall as the second one I made, so it does sit a little bit nicer. Same concept. It's a curtain material at the bottom that's all been interfaced. Same with the base. This the floral bit here is also been interfaced. It's just the cotton. The casing is double layer cylinder. Got the same drawstring on it with a little uh, again curtain material dangly bits at the end. There's a little there's a name for that, and I've just blanked on it. Little loop and ring there to put stuff on, and there's another one on the inside. Again, lots of pockets with the floral bias binding at the top of them, and this one's fully lined in a pink. It's a cotton is very similar to like a calico material, but pink. And then Mum's got her knitting in here, which is she's making a gorgeous baby blanket. Probably shouldn't pull it out because I might mess it up. Doesn't it look gorgeous? It's like a little cloud. Yeah, so version 3 of the knitting bag has been completed. So that's one thing I've made since then. Let me refer to my list. Oh, so on the subject of birthday presents, it's my sister's 21st in a month's time. So, oh gosh, that's only a month away. So I've been racking my brains trying to come up with a present idea because she's the one that got married in August last year. What's that? Like 10 months ago. Gosh. They're currently on their honeymoon. Their delayed honeymoon from COVID. Anyway, so because she got married, she got a lot of engagement presents and wedding presents. And she's now in her own house and she's been given a lot of things. And I'm trying to think, well, what can I get her that she doesn't like? She obviously, there's still a lot of things that she needs or would be nice to have. But I'm thinking, what can I get her that's a little bit different, a bit personal, something that she'll really appreciate. And for my 21st, she crocheted me this massive blanket. It is absolutely gorgeous. Green, pink, and white? Pink, blue, and white. What's the other colours? Pink? 2 shades of pink, 2 shades of maybe it's green, and like white, and it's like the chevron stripe, and it is amazing. Like she puts so much work into it, and I really appreciate it. It's on my bed at the moment because it's cold. So I'm thinking she put so much effort into that. I want to make her something that is, you know, is something from me that's like personal and she will appreciate. For her wedding present, I did an embroidery for her, which I have shown on a previous YouTube channel. So it's not like I haven't given her something that, you know, I've put a lot of effort into and is personal. But I wanted to do something, this is obviously not blanket size, like she made mine, but it is table runner sized instead, so it's still in progress. Oh, actually looks alright like that. So I'm still kind of on the fence, do I like it or not? Because she's not like she's a very modern, she's got modern tastes. Oh, I just started undoing it. You don't want to do that. So I googled table runner patterns, and most of them I don't like. Well, I think they're really nice, but they're more doily line, and while that might be my taste, I don't think it's hers, and she wouldn't necessarily want it in her house. So I came across this one, which it's called Fiery Dragonflies. It's a crochet pattern table runner, so I've obviously got a bit more to do, but I have done a fair bit already in the time that I've. So it's like a hexagon shape. And then it's got this gorgeous dragonfly pattern in the middle of some of them. It's actually it's an 11 row repeat, which I now know by heart, but it's actually a very basic concept, and I kind of like that. I like that it's so effective and yet not overly complicated. Um, I did see the pattern was for sale on Etsy, but in the description she says she's got it on her website for free. So I'm just using the website at the moment on her blog. Do I have it saved here so I can tell you what it is? If you Google fiery dragonfly, it'll come up. Let me see. By Mimzan, Mimzan. And the one in the picture is the one on the pattern's like a mustard colour. Like that. So yeah, it's actually turning out better than I was expecting in some ways. So yeah, I hope Jane likes it. I'm thinking I'll get something to go with it as well, like I don't know, some sort of centerpiece. It's a vase or a, I don't know. I don't really like fake plants. I don't know if she likes real plants, but then would you get decisions? Maybe a real plant with one of those like slight bowl shaped things underneath to protect this, which is protecting the table. Anyway, that's the current project. That's what I've been working on mostly at the moment. What's next on the list? So I did just say that I was going to be showing you finished projects, but I might have digressed on my second one to something that's in the in progress. But back to a finished one. On my last video, I was showing you this, and it only had half a sleeve. Well, it has since been completed. It has 2 sleeves. It's been blocked and worn and worn and worn, even though I finished it in like the middle of summer. Summers here can get chilly at night, so it was kind of my like grab that one in case I get cold thing. And it's got cold since. We are June. It is chilly, and it is at my go-to cardigan. It gets softer and softer and softer each time I wear it. I am so happy. This is the first thing I've ever knitted. It's the first garment I've ever knitted. So it's the first thing I've ever spun wool for and used the wool. And I'm just so happy. This is just called the cardigan in my life. It's just the cardigan. There's no other cardigan. I have talked about the pattern before. I think it's by Petite Knits. It's the Sunday cardigan. Highly recommend it for anyone who is learning to knit, because I learnt a lot on this, but in small chunks. So I think it was first learning how to increase stitches from on a knit row or a purl row, how to set stitches aside for your sleeve holes, and how to cast on for the other side. How to use circular needles, because I've never done that. So it's knit top down to the bottom on circular needles, but like back and forth. And then you pick up your stitches around the sleeve, which I'd never done before, and knit them in the round all the way down, and then just one by one rib, I think it is at the bottom. My cast off on my sleeves is a little bit too tight, so it's a bit squishy to get on over my wrist. Doable, it's manageable, but that's something I need to improve on. I did knit the sleeves a little bit longer. I'm not sure if there's a method for measuring sleeves. Like, do you go from the underarm? I guess you probably do go from the underarm. I think mine were a little bit, I needed them a little bit longer so that they're even, but they're a little bit longer than the pattern says. And I mean, I do have long arms, so that wasn't completely unusual, but I reckon next time I do it a little bit shorter because they just, I kind of like the balloon out effect, like around your wrist, but it's probably just a little bit too much, if that makes sense. So let me put it on. I literally wear this with everything, and it's so warm, it's so soft, so comfortable. I like how the ribbed section kind of just molds to your arms, like your shoulders. It just sits nice. Let me taller so you can see. It's just lovely. So yes, 100% happy with this one. So happy that let me fix my headphones up because I'm trying to use my headphones as a microphone now. I don't know whether it'll be better audio, but it shouldn't cut out when I put something in front of the laptop like it was. I'm still fiddling with audio and lighting and everything. Very amateur at the moment. But my first amateur knitting garment turned out very nicely, and it has had a lot of wear. And I was holding one of my friend's kids the other day, and on her lap, and she just like cuddled my arm, and she's just over one. I'm like, that is not fake, that is true. You know, she really thought it was soft too. um, but I love this one so much that I've started another one. Except this one, so this one's out of Kingston, our alpaca. And this one in my knitting bag. So this is the pattern. There you go. By Petite Knits Sunday cardigan. I've done the mohair edition because I didn't know that there was the other one until after I bought the pattern. But I kind of like this one better anyway. So this is Oreo. This is from the other alpaca that we have called Oreo. And she's obviously a black alpaca. I spun up a lot more wool to begin with because I'm kind of starting to get a bit of a feel for quantities. And I've done a fair bit of knitting. This one, exactly the same pattern, just in black. This one I've knit up a lot quicker because I now know what I'm doing. So I've got to I've done the whole body of it. Got the armhole set aside here, all the way down to the cast off. And on this one, I have actually started the sleeve. Haven't got very far, and then I ran out of wool. So I've got some more on this spinning wheel. I've filled up one bobbin, which I need to do 2 bobbins and then spin them back against each other. So I did that much, and it did this much. Does this make sense? I spun 2 bobbins against each other, and that quantity of wool did this much. So if I do the same again, I'll have more left over. I found this wool easier to spin for some reason. It wasn't as dirty, so didn't take me as long to pull it apart before carding it. It is a different texture. It's not quite as soft as this one. Just a little bit coarser. Washing it, there was so much dirt that came out of it, like 9 or 10 times of rinsing, and we're still coming out with dirt. Like, what? But it felt a lot softer after all that was out of it. It is still really nice and soft and snuggly. But yeah, different texture. It kind of feels a bit bouncier almost than this one, which they're both alpacas. One's black and one's white. I think they're the same variety. What's the word? They're not different types of alpacas, just the colour. Oh, and now I use stitch markers, and I bought myself. I don't know whether you can see that. That's a little kitty cat. There we go. Isn't it gorgeous? Yeah, so this is the knitting project that I can't knit on at the moment because I'm waiting to finish spinning. But yeah, I liked this one so much that I made another one, which in some ways is a good idea, I think, because it's just reinforcing the things that I did learn, and I still have to refer back to YouTube. I think YouTube will be my constant pal for the rest of my life. But yeah, a lot quicker second time round. So that's another. Oh well, that's a finished and an in progress. What else is on my list? Talking about finished projects. Last time I mentioned I was going to make a Fifi pajama nightie. I have worn it all through summer, and since it's been winter, I switched over my clothes, and it's been vacuum packed, and I don't want to unvacuum pack it. So apologies, but I won't be showing that one. It worked out really nice. I'm really happy with it. It was very professional. First time I've ever worked on bias cut pattern, which took me a bit to figure out how to cut it out. And then yeah, just like getting the feel of working with bias. Everything's on the bias, but I learned a lot of that one. Very happy with it. I would show you if I could, but I am not unvacuuming my summer clothing. So maybe in the future, if I remember that I still haven't documented it on YouTube, then I may show you. Last time I also was, let me see, what do we got here? Last time I was in the middle of making this little girl's dress with a vintage pattern that I had just done for this one, which I did in So Vintage September. I don't have the pattern with me at the minute. Well, I do, but I can't pull it out. So I was in the process of making this one. Same curtain material, same lining, again made from a lot of scraps on the inside. Then I obviously cut this one off short, attached a skirt, which is also lined, and these gorgeous, gorgeous buttons. And ta-da, we have a second matching, like little pinafore one. I'm not so happy with this one. I feel like the skirt needed to be longer, or something. Something's just not right. Maybe different materials. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, you live and you learn. So there's these two sisters. Well, now they have a third sister. Ta-da! I love this pattern. I've made it before. Ta-da! Which I think I've shown you this one before. Which I absolutely love this one. It's a nicer red than that. It's not so orange as it is showing on the screen. But this one is an all-time favourite. Again, from a vintage pattern. And it's a size 1, so it's one of those like really short-skirted little one-year-old dresses from like the 60s, I think. And I love that one. So I decided to make it in green curtain to be precise. Because it's curtain, it's obviously fully lined. The sleeves, it's got gorgeous little cuffs. It's the cuff option, did the collar option, the zip up the back with a tie. And obviously because it's curtain material, it's very stiff. It almost feels like a coat dress. Don't know what my dog's excited about. So it gives these pleats a lot of definition. Yeah, it's so cute. I love it. It feels like ages ago since I made that. But it was in the last 8 months. What other sewing stuff have I done? Let me check the list. Oh yes, I finished this one. So last time I was showing you this was just that's the back material, and I was saying I might make a Fifi. Oh, this is a gorgeous pink, right? I'm sorry if that's not pink on the screen. It is pink. Hang on, someone's coming down. Okay, so that's Mum just selling eggs. So back to this gorgeous pink that's not so pink. Obviously didn't make a Fifi. I have made a blouse instead, which is I bought this pattern cheap at the newsagents. It's the Sade blouse from the Simply Sewing magazine. Who put this? Oh, it's from Named. It's from Named book, I think. So obviously they've collaborated with Simply Sewing magazine. I bought this for like $3 at an op shop. I didn't even buy it from a newsagent. Then I like, oh yeah, I'll make this one. Then I actually read the pattern, and it says on the front, in plain sight, find the instructions for making this simple blouse inside issue 49. Well, I don't have issue 49. I don't have the magazine. All I have is this. No instructions, just the pattern, and this little line drawing down here. But I like a good puzzle, so I figured it out. I put it together. Front is obviously very basic. The sleeves are like oversized tulip sleeves, so I looked up a pattern for tulip sleeves that I had elsewhere and just copied that. So the back wraps around the front, but this big slash, so that was a lot of hemming. It hurt my fingers folding under because I didn't want to overlock because it obviously it's blousy. It opens up so you can see the hem there. It's got a gorgeous little just turned under cuff at the bottom with some elastic in it. The neckline, well, the back again. It was a bit of a puzzle. So it's got this piece overlapping the other piece, which I figured out which way they went based on the picture. I finished the neck in just some bias binding because I think I've got a list of the materials. So it did say bias tape, tape interfacing. I don't know what the difference is. Narrow ribbon or cord. So yeah, I put bias binding up here. This one I just folded under. And then the hem, oh, again, more hems here. There was a lot of hems, which I did turn unders because, again, it'll open up. And then I made it's kind of on the shorter side. I would have preferred it to be a bit longer, which, I mean, if I measured the pattern, I could have figured that out myself, but I just went and made it instead. So I made a casing with bias binding again, just from, I think it's the top pop or whatever they call it. Polyesterish, cottonish, whatever stuff, which minimized how much length I had to use in the hem. And I've just got a ribbon going through there. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to put elastic or something, so I don't really wear things like this. So it does all gather up. Yeah, like where do you wear a top like this? It looks great with jeans. I've had nowhere to wear jeans. So it would be kind of like a cool date night thing, I guess. But I don't know. This little gap here would maybe annoy me a little bit on a date because, I'm not a flashy sort of person. I've wanted to work a lot. So I pull this ribbon in tight and then just tuck it into like a pencil skirt. So you can kind of see that it's got the flat. But because my skirt's high-waisted, it doesn't really have a gap there. And then just tuck the front in as well. So yeah, I have wanted to work, and like in the middle of summer, it doesn't really matter that your sleeves are open. I reckon that's kind of cool. It's like floating. I would put it on and show you how your arms fit in there, but it's cold. Yeah, so another finished project. That is material that has turned into a garment. Um, what other sewing stuff have I done? Well, you did potentially, if I figure out how to do this slow motion or slow motion, fast forward, time lapse, whatever, you would have seen me sewing on a dress at the moment because I got given this Berta style magazine, and I've looked at these in newsagents before, and I think they're like pictures of them are really cool sometimes. but I've always been put off by the fact that the patterns are a nightmare. Anyway, I got given this one, and I pored over it, as I do with sewing things, to the point of convincing myself that I really needed this dress. This one. Which, of course, hang on, I'll show you, that's page 1, I'll show you the next page, is the designer option. It's the most, I don't think it's the most complicated, but one of the more complicated ones in the book. No starting easy for me. This one. Gorgeous big puff sleeve. It's got, I don't know if you can see the line drawing there, gathers around the neck and the waist onto a waistband. A really, really nice big long skirt. There's gathers on the back. Let's see. Can you see the line drawing there? There we go. There's, so it gathers on, ugh, don't do that to me. Gathers here around the neck and the center back there. The sleeves, I think, have elastic in them at the cuffs and a center back zip, I believe. Yes. So yes, I do look at line drawings more than I look at pictures, but for the people who look at pictures more than line drawings, here you go. So I love it. It is currently the middle of winter. I might not finish it until summer, but I wanted to think, well, if I finish it in the middle of winter, I want to wear it now. And because we are back in the office, well, we were when I started this, I would probably wear it to work. So I didn't go buying material because I've been given a lot and I didn't need to. This, which is it's not that colour. It is like a nice dark green. It's a gorgeous dark green. And I don't know what it is, but it's got to be high quality because the lady who it was originally loved high quality, massive quantities. I've already cut out the dress, and this is how much I have left, right? And it was a fabric hog. Those skirt pieces are massive. Yeah, so I am sewing that up at the moment. It's obviously recommended for cotton. It just said recommended fabrics cotton. I think for those massive sleeves to give the volume. But I'm not so keen on massive sleeves. I'd be happy if they sit a bit flatter. So whatever this is, which I think is more like it's a heavier weight, suiting wool, or I don't know, something like that. It doesn't crease. It does gather up nicely. I did check that. But the gathers will be a bit stiffer, but then it's got a little bit of a drape to it. So it won't sit like that, which I'm happy about. I don't want massive puff sleeves. In some ways, if I can get a jacket over the sleeves, like not a tight fitting jacket, but a coat or a loose blazer or something, then I can wear it in winter. So that's my current sewing project. What's that? Verda Style. Do they have numbers on here? May 2020 pattern dress 122. So I have traced off the pattern. I did do the whole nightmare, follow the lines and figure out what size, and massive, complete mind boggle. I wear glasses now. I could almost blame Berta Patterns for wearing glasses. Not quite. I blame COVID for wearing glasses. Yeah, so that's my current sewing project. What else have I got left? Oh, before I started the dress, I may have been sewing something else. But you know when you start a sewing project and then you just lose interest and it's not fun anymore. And I have pushed through that feeling a lot to get onto something exciting. And I have also started a lot of projects and not finished them. And I think at one point I had like 18. And I think I'm down to 11 or something like that. Because I had a blitz. Anyway, we can increase that 11 to 13. Because I started projects and I'm just not feeling them at the moment. This is a pattern that I've made before. This is from a photocopy of a friend's, so I can't actually show you. Do I have a picture? I've just got photocopied. I have instructions. Wow, that's a change. Mind you, the beta style one obviously have instructions, but they're very brief. And I think I'm doing the designer version, and they assume you know a lot of stuff. This one. So it's like a, what do they call it? They give it a funny name. A pant dress or something. Toddler's pant dress or jumpsuit. So I've made it before, and it does kind of look like a dress. I think it's really cute. I've made this one with the little puff sleeves, gathered around a neckline, but the shorts part's not gathered. Anyway, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do a bulk version. I'll cut out 2 at once, which I should know from experience isn't always the greatest thing for me because I get bored on repetitive processes. This is version 1, but then I see material and think, oh, that looks so good like that. That looks so good like that. Let's just make 2 of them because I can't choose. Version 1, which I started doing a little embroidery on, and then a kidna on the front of it. It would look really cute. I've already got the zip in. What am I even worried about? Got the zip in. I've put the gathering threads in the sleeves. These ones again, puff sleeves. And the gathers around the neckline. Yeah. I just lost interest. Let me fold this back up again so that the embroidery is still flat. So that's version 1, and version 2, I was trying out a new technique that I saw in a magazine, an old version of the magazine. So this one's I've already got sleeves on there. Version 2. I added piping because don't do anything basic. I've got my neckline done. This is the technique I was talking about. So it's where you sew your seam, and then you sew a piece of fabric behind, which happens to be the slippery fabric, so I interfaced it to give it stability. And then you come back and open up this. Oh, you sew your strip of fabric behind, and you come back and open it up, and you kind of get this like peekaboo look. But on the center front, and then I just kept it open at the top, so you can see a little bit of it poking through. On the center front, though, it just kind of looks like there's a zip there, even though I've done my best at the back to hide the zip. Like there is a zip there, but it's a flap one, not a, yeah. And then I was thinking, maybe I'll put it on the side as well, because I've got this seam, right, that I could put the contrast material behind and do the same thing, open it up. So it's like a bit of a peekaboo. It's this, so I've got the matching piping as well. I need to fold that bias binding under. A cute little puff sleeve. I don't know. It's just not turning out how I wanted it to. It would have been better if I didn't worry about this whole thing. Just kept it how it was. Because it's cute. It is cute. And I think the piping is enough of a interest. Anyway, they've been put to the side until I can come up with an idea. Motivate myself again. I don't know. Oh, bang. Okay. So that's all for sewing. What else is on the list? Knitting bag, crochet. Oh, that's embroidery. Yep, 2 lots of embroidery left. So, I turned up to embroidery class without my stuff because I'd left it half an hour away accidentally. But thankfully, my sewing teacher had done a drawing for me that I asked. Like, I didn't give her a time frame on it, but done a drawing for me that I'd talked about a while back. So I started it, seeing as I had nothing else I could do. And it's going to be this, which will it show on the camera? It's a 3-part picture from a like comic strip, not really a comic strip, an image that I saw on Instagram, and she's made it bigger. It's not going to show, is it? Anyway, all I've done so far is an arm. Sorry about the noise. Okay, I'll show you from here. Step one, image one is this. It's Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse, and Winnie the Pooh's cold. We've put feet in. We're not making him stand in the snow, but he's cold, right? And then 2, and then 3, and it says you. Hang on, let me see if I know what it is. Your what's that say? Your greatness is not what you have, but what you give. And I don't know about the words. It's not like I have a connection with the words as such. I'm a bit thingy about just random quotes, inspirational quotes that are supposed to mean something and never do. So I might just leave that off because I think the pictures say more than the quote does. But yeah, I'm gonna embroider those. And I think they're really, really cute. So yeah, in case you didn't get it at the end, Mickey Mouse gives half his clothing to Winnie the Pooh, which is what they wear these days. But before this happened, Winnie the Pooh was cold. Anyway, so that's my embroidery project. That is the very, very, very beginnings. Because I have something else that I need to finish before that, which I've been doing classes on. Which is in embroidery box. Do not judge the mess. It's a creative mess. This will be an elephant. And I've pretty much done all the embroidery, and I've just got to sew it together. So there's a pattern by Jerry Maxwell, Hare's Nest Stitchery. That is the front and the back. Front and the back, the sides, the 2 sides. What I mean to say, I've got little beads on there. I don't know whether they're showing up too good. The colours probably aren't either. There is 3 different coloured threads and a variegated one, which is a what do they call them? CGT, cottage garden threads, which Joe sells as well. But I think they're a Ballarat business too. What colour is that? They have cool names. Citronelle. I used to have another one here from a blanket that I did. I don't think I've got the card left. That's all I've got left of it. It's got gorgeous purpley blues and pinks. They're some really, really pretty threads. Anyway, this is the one that I've been using. This piece is the gusset for the head. There is a saddle piece at the back, which I still haven't done that. Ears. Joe sewed this together for me, so I can't take credit for that. And they're double-sided. Aren't they just the gorgeousest? And what do we got here? This is the underneath. So there's a few different colours in there, just like little star stitches. I did half of them are like the very pale purpley colour, and half of them are like a really pale teal, and then they're covered in one strand of the darker green. It kind of gives that sort of texture, but that goes underneath, so it's not really a focal point. And then this is the headpiece, which is a really strange shape at the minute. So I've got beads in there. Most of it's all stem stitch. There's a few like little buttonhole circles, French knots in there, a little bit of satin stitch, yeah, so that is very close to being finished. I've just got to sew it together. And it'll be a 3D elephant. Yeah, so that's I think that's all my projects. That is all my projects. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me and my constant interruptions. Thanks for staying with me, even though it's been 8 months since I've done the last one. Hopefully, it's not 8 months until I do the next one. But I think at the end of the last one, I said, oh, I always say I'll be back in the near future, and I never am. And obviously, I never am. So I'll make no promises. But it would be nice to do a few more of these. It is winter now, so well, today's a miserable day outside. I had nothing else that I could be doing but this, really, or maybe sewing a dress. So that's the thing that happens. I like, oh, yeah, I'll do a bit of sewing instead of videoing. But I do like to have my things. I like to have a space where my things are documented that I've made because I lose track of all the things that I've made, or somewhere where I can put a comment down for future reference, like that I need to not to do my Sunday cardigan sleeves as long as they were on this one, or I don't know, stuff like that. Um, yeah. So I hope if you find this interesting that you will stick around. Please like and subscribe and all those YouTubey things. I will continue to work on audio quality and video quality and all the technical stuff because I kind of want to get better. It's a process. So please bear with my amateurness and hopefully I will continue to improve. So until next time, please stay safe, stay sane with all the COVID madness that continues to continue, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.